And good afternoon, and welcome back to Tech20 Tuesday. It's another gorgeous day outside. A little colder than last week, though. I think last week at this time we were sort of sitting around somewhere around 25, 26, 27 degrees, and it was beautiful. This week we're back into the last throes of winter, so I guess Tech20 Tuesday is a good place to be since it's inside and virtual and not exposed to the elements. My name is Jeff Whipple, and I'm a technology learning mentor here in School District 18. I'm situated at Fredericton, but technology can take us everywhere. And Tech20 Tuesday is now spreading across the province. People are joining us from all over, and both to listen in, but also to share. And today I'm really excited. The session today, we're going to have a look at the virtual classroom tool that's available to us, the resource that's available to us through the portal. And with us today to sort of walk us through it and show us some of the benefits is my good friend Angela Taylor. And Angela is in School District 14, way up there on the North Shore. What's the weather like up there today, Angela?
Very, very windy.
Windy, same here. Don't you kind of feel like Peter Code or something on the?
Yes.
You're zooming into Tech20 Tuesday. So as I said, Angela is going to share with us today, and she's going to talk about virtual classroom. And so, Angela, I'm just going to throw it over to you, and you can introduce us to virtual classroom and maybe how some of the classes that you work with. First of all, why don't you tell us what you're doing these days? Because we haven't talked for a while.
I'm a technology lead here in District 14, working with a couple of our demonstration schools, as well as supporting other schools in the lower end of our district. So I might be in an elementary school in the morning and a high school in the afternoon, and every day is different, and I love it.
Isn't it a great job?
Yes.
So, virtual classrooms. Tell us sort of a little bit about what they are first, and then how teachers can get access to them and use them in their classroom.
Okay, here in District 14, we started out with virtual classrooms, virtual schools, just for our 4 demonstration schools. And it was so fabulous and easy to set up that some of our other schools started running with it, especially after our first PD session, where we had teachers from a demonstration school working with other schools and saying, well, just put that in your virtual class. Just do this and just do that. Well, what do you mean? So suddenly we started getting requests to create virtual schools for a lot of our other schools, including elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. The virtual school is a great place to store things. So here's one of our demonstration schools, Woodstock High. Woodstock High loves their old website as well. So if you click right here, you can go to their website, and they are using a lot of different classes. So for example, I have a co-op teacher who sees her students for the first couple of weeks of school, and then they're out in schools, in their job. She doesn't know where they are, how to stay in contact. But with the virtual classroom, she can post everything here that she needs. There are some links. There is a calendar. So if we scrolled back to January, you could see how she used it first term. This is when this assignment is due. This is when that assignment's due. Here are the log sheets. It's very, very helpful. So it's a good way to stay in contact with some of your students. Now, another example I have, we have 2 math teachers who are both teaching Math 10, and instead of creating 2 separate classes and sharing, they've decided to put all of their resources together on one virtual class. So they have a calendar for their assignments over here, links. This is fabulous. Instead of saying to your students, type all of this in, make sure it's the right backslash and the right dot, all the students have to do is click on the link and they are there. You haven't wasted class time getting students to find where they need to be. And you'll notice that the virtual classes, some of them are different colors and have different photos, so you can personalize them. For example, we have another teacher who is teaching 2 grade 9 math classes. So she goes in to post what she wants. Let's see. Grade 9 math block 1. And it's kind of orange and green. Then if we go to our other block, it's a little bit different. Now the students don't know that math block 1 is orange and green, but the teacher does. So this is more a personal feature for the teacher. Oh, I'm in the purple class. I meant to go to block 1. I meant to go to the orange class. So that's another helpful feature. We also have, because these classes are meant only for those particular students that are in the class right then, We also have one called Tech Tutorials, which every student and teacher is in. So they can go to this class, scroll down through the link, see if they can find something. Oh, I need to do a project with Photo Story. What is Photo Story? Here we go. Here are some helpful hints. VoiceThread. Oh, that's neat. I wonder what that is. So they can go, maybe a teacher's looking to set up some smart response things. So this is a way to use the virtual class for everyone. It's not just students in your particular class. Now, I'd like to take you to Nakwik High. Nakwik High is another one of our demonstration schools who is putting everything on their virtual school. So if you look down the left-hand side, it's very different over here. If I go back to the main part of Woodstock High, they only have a few links right here. But Nakwik High is using lots of different things on their virtual school. For example, we have a student tech survey for everyone. One of the teachers decided to do a survey here with his entrepreneurship class. So he could just say to his students, okay, let's go to the virtual class. Let's go here. And there it is. Everyone can see it. Because with this survey, they wanted all of the students in the school to participate in the survey. So it wouldn't have been helpful to put it just on their entrepreneurship virtual class. Right here, everyone sees it. If we scroll down through, everyone, students and teachers see the announcements, calendar of events, staff. Right here, laptop cart and netbook cart, the students do not see these. This is only for the teachers. So if you would like to book out the laptop cart that is in Peter's room, you go to this calendar and you can book it out. So then there isn't a piece of paper on the laptop cart, and not that anyone would scratch out anyone else's name or reprint the calendar.
Never.
Never. We've never done that. And the same with Tom's cart. And you can see they're booked all the time. But the students do not see that. It's a great resource for the staff. They have a CAD lab and a BBT lab. Let's see. Week at a glance. Again, the students do not have permissions to see this. But staff can go in instead of, oh, I lost that. Where is it? Oh, look, it's in that folder. That's very helpful, a good way to stay organized. The student agenda would be available to students. Staff handbook would not. Even their school improvement plan, it's at your fingertips. I don't know how many of you are not familiar with where your school improvement plan is, but at Nakwik High, it's right there. Demonstration school, that's for students as well to go in and look. Bell schedule, it's nice for anyone to know when the bell schedule is. Now finances, only the admin see this. So you can set the permissions on your links and folders for whoever you'd like. Do you want all the staff, just one or two people, students and staff? Now if we go back out here, here's an example of a grade 11-3 math class that was using the virtual class. Now because this is a demonstration school, this school, the grade 9s are one-to-one. They all have a netbook, but the grade 11s do not. So Mr. Inch, the math teacher, would go in and book the CAD lab or the carts, not every day, but certain days that he wanted his students to go on to the virtual class. And knowing that Nakwik is a rural community and not everyone has access at home to the internet, he was very conscious of that. So, okay, I want everybody to go and do this and download it or print it out, whatever you need. Here, let's do it during class time. This was an excellent, excellent project where students were paired up with a roommate, or there were actually a couple of couples who really loved this project. And they were given a budget, jobs, where they lived. They had to have grocery bills and everything. So what they did, at least once a week, they would come to the virtual class, and you can see, oh, look, Tyler has a new job. How is that going to affect his finances? And every week, poor kids, sometimes they won the lottery. Sometimes they had to put on a new roof. Sometimes a student lost a job. Hey, we got a puppy last week. We need to go to the vet this week. This was a great way to stay in communication with the students, even though they didn't have their own personal computer. You can see here some of the outcomes as well. Now I'd like to take you to Social Studies 9. You can see a lot of the teachers in this building are using this. So Social Studies 9, we have 3 different teachers teaching it, so I just labeled it with their last name. So again, just some helpful information, throwing things on the calendar. So when the classes are created, I make sure that the calendar is here, that feature. Can add that for students or for teachers. And depending on what it is, if it's a math class, sometimes I'll add the link, the virtual library. Okay. And I noticed Sherry's Math 9 down here had a couple of things. It's all in how you label it. Oh, I don't know where hers went. And
I think it's the Math 9 Fox.
where did you see
Right
that?
in the middle of the page.
Thank you. I have a little list off to the side of ones that I wanted to make sure that I showed you. So Sherry's just getting into using this. She has the grade 9s who come to her with the netbook. So she has a couple of things here. I believe the science one also has a picture of the science textbook to help students. And this science teacher had grade 9 science period 2 and period 5. This was last year, but we kept everything up there because he's still going back and taking some of the resources. So we put a picture up there of the textbook. And you can see all of the folders, his assignments, information, links. Now, I was in this class one day when we went into class discussion. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Everybody's going to pick a constellation. We're going to do a project. Okay, so Mr. Lagasse, I'm doing Leo. Whoever Billy Bob is, Hercules. So everybody go in and pick their constellation. Just add it to the list. That did not work because everybody was going in at the same time. They would only see the first couple of people. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So if we look here. So I added my name, number 3. This is what I'm going to do. But then Austin went in. Well, I guess Austin didn't do it. So you see, at the same time, this didn't work. So that was a great learning experience for us. For the class discussion, it was better to say, here's the topic by the end of the week or over the next 3 days. Could you go in and comment on this or comment on that? To have students all go in and comment at the same time, they're missing what each other is saying. So a lot of this is just trial and error. We have the drop box where students can place assignments. And only the teacher has access to this and the students who are in the class. So if I am, oh my, he has a lot of folders, but no student work. Over here, teacher view. There we go. So if I'm the teacher, I see all of these things, but Andrew Pickard, for example, only sees what Andrew Pickard puts in the Dropbox. So that's very helpful, very safe feature. A lot of our teachers are using Wikispaces and different things. Do we know how safe and secure that is? Is it going to be there tomorrow? I'm not sure, but I do know that the portal is going to be there tomorrow, and the portal is a nice, safe place to house things. Science 9, if there is a parent who wants to go in, they can go into the Science 9 class as well. They can log in anywhere that they have an internet connection. So that's very helpful to stay in contact with what your students do, what your child's doing. What did you do at school today? Nothing. Really? When I look at your science calendar, I see you have 3 assignments. So that's very helpful. Is there anything else you'd like to see, Jeff?
One of the things that has intrigued me a lot about the virtual school is how teachers can do assessment directly onto those without printing them or without collecting them. How they actually can annotate them and send them back or give them back to students.
And I'm looking for one because I know I was in a history class. And it's really, really nice to be in different classes and see what's going on. So here, I can't see what the teacher can see, so I'm just going to go in quickly. Again, the students do not have access to this. They cannot do the things that we are doing. And not all of the teachers at this school have rights to go in and do this because they don't want them. They would rather have me set it up and they can go in and do whatever they'd like.
How, while you're looking for that, how big of a deal is it? Can teachers do this on their own, or do they really need the support of a mentor?
Once you sit down with a mentor and do one or two together, you're off to the races and you can do it on your own. I do have some teachers who only want one class for one subject and they just say, here's the title, let me know when it's done. Other teachers say, you know what, I have 4 or 5 of these and I would like to know how to do it. I would like to know how to support my grade level team. I'm going to be the person on this grade level that's going to learn how to do this. We have lots of step by step things. Chris Sherwood has posted things that we can use. You can ask your mentor, you can ask somebody in another district. I can sit down and create one in 8 minutes, making it colorful and pretty with pictures.
Yeah, but you're a pro.
I do it in my sleep.
And I
One
think,
more thing I'd like to point out for Nakwik High is their
yeah.
school improvement plan is right here with all of the folders. So again, everything is housed on their virtual school. They no longer use their other portal site, and we're working on their website right now.
Cool. So I think the big message here, Angela, is that this is a really powerful tool that we own, that teachers can use for sharing, for collaboration. I think there's a whole lot more to it as well. We're just sort of skimming the surface here today, and that if teachers are interested in finding ways to connect with students and have students connect with each other, then this is certainly one of the better options that are out there for us.
And I keep saying to the students how safe it is. If you save things on the portal, on your My Site, wherever you save them, it's very, very safe. But please remember to save it in 2 different places.
Uh,
That's one of the things we stress with our teachers and our students. Speaking of sharing things, this English class right here, this is Nakwik High. The grade 12 English teacher at Woodstock High has permission to see and upload in Donna's class, in Mrs. Seymour's class. And
ah,
Mrs. Seymour has rights to the Woodstock High English 12 site. So these two teachers who are in the same district but not in the same building can share resources.
isn't that interesting?
Angela, this is it's Chris. You're doing a great job. Um, I just wanted to touch base on what you were just talking about last week in St. John. The mentor there opened a blog between I think it was St. Max and the middle school that feeds there, and the students were asking questions about high school life. What they were concerned about bullying. They were concerned, so they'd ask a question, and one of the high school kids would respond. And if it wasn't within 2 or 3 days, I got another request from the same school district. Could you build one for this middle school and this high school because they want to do the same thing? They were interested in sharing the student views of what's going to happen. And I thought, what a clever idea. And not only were the like in your example where the teachers were sharing ideas and lesson plans and so on, but the students were able to connect with kids who are older, being able to ask questions that obviously were concerning them. I thought it was a fantastic idea.
That sounds great.
Thanks for sharing that. By the way, everybody, that was Chris Sherwood from the Department of Education. Chris just ran out of a meeting to come join us today to add some expertise to the conversation as well. So, Angela, in 30 seconds, how would you sum this up and really, I guess, do a sell job for teachers who are thinking about this? What can it do for them?
This is very, very safe. It's accessible to anyone with an internet connection. If you know your students are going home and do not have access to the internet, they can still go into the virtual class, get resources that they need. I really like the link feature, adding the link, because I don't know how many times I've been in a class. Here's the address. It's 2 lines long. Don't screw it up. And then your lesson is lost. You're spending 10 minutes trying to get students to the right site. Every school I find is using this differently. Like Nakwik High has really gone full force with it, using it to book out things and staff meeting notes, agendas. This teacher right here is putting his outcomes out there. I just love it. It's safe, it's easy. If you want to learn how to do it, you can do it. If you want your tech mentor to do it, they can do it for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Chris, do you want to chime in with a couple of sage advice?
I don't know how sage it is, but I'll chip in. The only, if you're interested, I'm not sure if Angela covered this earlier because I was late joining, but we do have a sandbox site on NBEd. If you want to go in, it's a good spot. People are somewhat nervous about being going and kicking the tires on a live site. They're afraid they might mess up the class. But the sandbox site is a good place to go in. If so, I wonder what this would look like, or what would if I changed the background, or if I added this week in pictures and put kids in my class, what would it look like? That's a good opportunity to go in and try that. And then once you learn, you can go in. Also, there's a number of mentors who are here. They go in and try things. There's some pretty wild and crazy things. This site rarely looks the same way twice when I go in and take a look at it. Someone's always adding a chunk or taking something off. So again, if you're not in here, would like to just drop me a quick email. I'll add you in right away, and you can go in and take a peek around. But it's always good to play. And if you have any questions at all, feel free. Angela's excellent at setting these up, and if I can be of any help, by all means, please ask me anytime.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. And Angela, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And I see Mary Jo has put Chris's email into the chat window. So you can get Chris at chris.sherwood@gnb. And Angela, I'm sure you're just an NBEd email.
Yes.
So
What do you mean just?
okay, you are an NBEd email, like
Thank
me,
you. Thank you.
like the rest of the teachers. So Angela.Taylor@NBEd, and it's also in the chat. So thank you both, and especially you, Angela, for joining us today. I know it's always a busy day, and this has been good of you to take a few moments and share with us some of your experiences with virtual classrooms. And next week, we move into the month of April. And we're going to have a smart month. So we'll be looking at Smart Notebook and some of the smart tools. And I believe we're going to have visits virtually from Joy Savoy and Rick Hayward and a few other people during the month to have a look at Smart and some of the tools they have available for us in terms of changing education. Again, thank you all, and we will see you all again next week on Tech 20 Tuesday.